guys, welcome to Stacking the Shelves for the weekend of, I'm like checking because I don't know what date it is, the 21st. This is my book haul for the last couple weeks. I did not do a video last week because we were at a hockey tournament, and as per normal, this year my life has been a little bit weird. Like, I got back from doing a manufacturing run, so traveling for work, and then I immediately left and went up to Silver Bay, Minnesota for a hockey tournament, and got back. And in the last 2 weeks, I've gotten a ton of books, and there's an explanation for this. Some was in my control, some was not. There were a variety of books on NetGalley and Edelweiss that I had requested for review purposes. And for some reason, I got like all of my review requests for like the last few months granted in like a day. I don't know if they just went through and I don't know what was going on. But all of a sudden, I had a ton of review books that I was not expecting. The other thing that happened is Black Friday, which Audible did a big sale on a lot of their audiobooks. And then Amazon was doing a sale for Kindle stuff. Like if you bought $15 worth of Kindle books, you got $5 free. So I ended up doing all that too. And I feel like, I'll get around to reading them eventually. And it was a pretty good deal. So, I don't do a ton of Black Friday stuff. We usually go to Target and like walk around and see if there's any good deals, but we're not big Black Friday shoppers. But for a couple of these online deals, I did end up going ahead and doing it. So I'm going to go through them. There are a lot of them. I think there's like 15 or 20 books to go through. So I'll just start. The first one I got, I'll do the review with first. I think I'll do the reviews first. The first one I got is called Sparrow by Mary Cecilia Jackson. Honestly, the cover is what got my attention on this one. And I like to read books about ballerinas. I don't know why. The fact that she's in like a black dress reminded me of like that Black Swan movie. And anyways, this is a young adult novel about a girl who's a ballerina who has had a history of abuse. And that's really all I know about it. It sounded interesting. I like reading about, as I said, I like reading about ballerinas. I don't know why. I've never really had a desire to be a ballerina. I just think it's interesting what these women go through or young girls go through to like do that. Anyways, I got this through NetGalley and it comes out March 17th. So it's a few months till it comes out. I think it'll be an interesting read. I don't imagine like this is going to be a comfortable read. This is probably going to be an uncomfortable read, but yeah. So they're comparing it to like Speak by Laurie House Anderson. So I imagine there's some sexual abuse in here or something like that. As I said, I don't really know. I just know it's about a ballerina who's trying to deal with like the abuse that she's gone through. So that's the first one I got for review. The second one I got for review sounds really cool. And I was excited to be able to get this. And that is Seasons of the Storm by El Casamano. This comes out June 23rd. So this doesn't come out for almost 6 months. So I got this pretty early. I think I got this through Edelweiss. This sounds really neat. Basically, the seasons are embodied as people. And in order for the seasons to move on in the world, one season has to kill another season. So like winter, in order for winter to show up, it has to kill fall, and then, spring has to kill winter or something like that. And there's a boy named Jack who ends up becoming winter. And it sounds like he becomes involved with the person who's the embodiment of spring. So there's kind of a weird thing going on there. But basically the seasons fight each other over who gets to take over the world next. So it sounded really cool. It's got a very neat cover. I like the cover a lot. As I said, it doesn't come out until June, so I'm hoping that this will be a good one. It sounds like this may be a standalone fantasy, so we'll have to see. All right. I'm also very excited about the next one I got for review because it's another Sarah Beth Durst book, and I've been a big fan of all of her books. It sounds like this is another adult novel, and that is Race the Sands by Sarah Beth Durst. This comes out in April, so April 21st is the release date. Again, I got this as an eGalley to review, and this sounds like it's about women who train to race these monsters in order to survive, and it is a standalone fantasy. It's an adult fantasy, and I'm just really excited to read it because I feel like Durst has written some really amazing both adult and young adult fantasies, and she has some really cool ideas, and I just like her writing style a lot. So she's kind of become like a go-to author for me. Whenever I see a book coming out by her, I'm like, oh my God, I need that. So I'm excited about that one as well. All right. Another one I got for review, and this is another NetGalley one, is Harley in the Sky by Kimi Don Bowman. This comes out March 10th, so it comes out a little bit sooner than the other ones I've gone through. And this is about a young adult. It's a young adult novel. Sounds like contemporary fiction about a girl who just decides she's going to run off and join the circus. And again, I like reading about ballerinas a lot. The other thing I really like reading about is the circus. It just fascinates me, like people who live in the circus and decide to, that's how they make their living. So I was absolutely intrigued by this. I love the cover. I think it's really cool. Like the little, she's like a trapeze artist, something in the circus. Anyways, I think it's really cool, and I'm excited to read it. I think it'll be a fun read and something that's a little bit different. All right, another review book. This one doesn't come out until June again. It comes out June 23rd. I also got this through NetGalley, and that is Sisters of Sword and Song by Rebecca Ross. This is another, I believe, debut author novel, and it's a fantasy novel about two sisters. One of them has left to be part of the military, and when she comes back, there's, from what I understand it, some accusations against her and stuff that aren't really true. It sounds like it might be a little bit more of a political thing with some action and adventure or something. Again, another very beautiful cover. I'm really looking forward to this one. It sounded pretty neat. So, young adult fantasy. I know we're all surprised. I was like a sucker for a lot of covers this last couple weeks. So this other one I got for review is Girl Serpent Thorn, and this comes out May 12th. Again, I got this through NetGalley. It's a young adult fantasy. This is supposed to be kind of a fairy tale-ish type of book about a girl whose touch is poisonous. And that's all I know about it. Again, beautiful cover. I absolutely love it. They have this like albino snake weaving through the roses, and just very pretty. This is by Melissa Bashardaus. I feel like I've read something from her before, but I'm blanking on what. But anyways, another review book. I think it should be a good read. Okay, so this one, also, the cover grabbed my attention. That happens a lot on NetGalley. Like, I open up a whole bunch of books on different tabs that kind of grab my attention, and then I read about them and try to figure out if it's something that I would be interested in. And this one is kind of different from the other ones. It's supposed to be like a dystopian / fantasy, sci-fi, urban fantasy kind of adult thing. And it's The Last Smile in Sunder City by Luke Arnold. And this is the first book in the Fetch Phillips series, and it comes out February 6th, so I will be reading this one sooner because it just comes out in a couple months. And it's about a man named Fetch Phillips who, it sounds like he's not quite human, and he does jobs for non-humans, like possibly thieving jobs or something like that. And it's kind of booked as like a humorous urban fantasy set in a somewhat dystopian setting, and it just sounds like one of those quirky urban fantasy novels with like a kind of a fun detective / troublemaker type of person. I don't know. I saw this and it reminded me of, some other books I have read like that. And when I read the synopsis, I thought it might be kind of fun. I haven't been reading a ton of urban fantasy lately because I just haven't found anything that really grabs me. So I'm hoping I'll like this and it'll be kind of a fun read. Again, I really like the cover. The synopsis sounded like this is going to be really funny, so hopefully it'll be a good deal. All right, this is my last review book, and I was really excited to get a copy of this, and that is Shortfall by Robert Jackson Benet. This is the second book in the Founders series. I really, really love Foundryside. It was probably one of my favorite, epic fantasy type books of last year. Very excited to get a copy of Shortfall. This comes out April 21st, so it doesn't come out for a few months still, but I've been looking forward to this for a long time, so I might be reading it a little bit early. I try to read my review books like the month before they release, but this one might get read a little bit early because I'm pretty excited for it. All right, so as I mentioned, I did buy books for Kindle, and, those of you who buy Kindle books know that $15 of Kindle books can be a lot of Kindle books. So I had kind of a variety of things. I had on books to buy soon list on Amazon, and I went through and got those for Kindle. The first one that I got was Laughter at the Academy by Shauna McGuire. This is Shauna McGuire's first short story collection where like all the stories are hers. I have started reading this. I've only read the first couple stories and they've been good. It's really long. There's like a lot of stories in it. So I think this is one I'm going to like read a couple stories and then read a book and then read a couple stories and read a different book, you know. But yeah, I'm excited to get that. This is one of the few Shauna McGuire things that I haven't read. So I think that'll be a good read. The next one I got is from the editorial page of the Falchester Weekly Review by Marie Brennan. This is a short story that accompanies the Lady Trent series. I think it's like between books 3 and 4 or something. The Lady Trent is like a Victorian fantasy alternate history kind of series. It's very funny. I really liked it. It was one of my favorite series I read last year, and I was excited to just get a little bit more of it. This is very, very short. I'm not sure it's even really worth the 99 cents I spent on it because it literally took me 5 minutes to read. But it was also very funny. It's like letters between Lady Trent and one of her scientific cohorts, and she's arguing with him about the discovery of a cockatrice. So it's very funny, and the way it ends is very ironic and very like Lady Trentish. So I'm glad I read it, but still, it took me like maybe 5 to 6 minutes to read. So it's really short, but it was good. All right, this is another one that was like a 99-cent Kindle book, and it was pretty short. It took me maybe 15 minutes to read, and that is Kraken and Canals by Anne Renwick. I can't remember if it was this year or last year, but I read the Elemental Steampunk series by Anne Renwick and loved it. It is like a steampunk romance, but Renwick also worked as a microbiologist, I believe, or a doctor or something like that, something in the medical field. And so she writes like really scientifically and medically detailed mysteries, and the inventions and stuff are really, it's like really gets deep into science, which I really like, but it's like fantasy science, if that makes any sense. I always love the characters in these. I love the world, and I like how like detailed and scientific they get, even though it's not like real science, make-believe science. I really enjoy the writing style. So the next few books are actually spin-offs of that series. This is Kraken and Canals is one of the Elemental Steampunk tales. So it's like a short story that's set in that same world as the Elemental Steampunk series. And then the next 4 are all other tales. So that one was pretty short. That was like one of the short stories. These are tales, so they're more like novella length, so they're around 200 pages long. And that is A Trace of Copper. And then In Pursuit of Dragons. Reflection of Shadows. And then the last one that just came out is Snowflakes at Midnight, or a snowflake at midnight. So all of these like feature a couple, and you know, usually one of them is very scientifically inclined, one is very adventurous, and it could be the man or the woman, either or, and they solve some mystery and go on an adventure and like eventually fall in love and get married or whatever. So they are a bit formulaic, but I really like the world, and they're always really well written, and they're really funny and very engaging. And so they're just really nice, like escape reads. So I did get all those for Kindle. And that was kind of like all of that was my $15 worth of Kindle books. The rest of these I got for audiobook through Audible. And they were having a deal where they had a lot of the books on like super cheap. And if audiobooks are ever on sale for less than $9, I want them, I usually get them because the credits that I get with my membership are $9.56 each when you figure it out. So if they're on sale for cheaper, I go ahead and get them. And so there were a couple that were really on sale this time. And one of those was Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. I know I haven't read this, and I'm like a huge Neil Gaiman fan, and I know it's been out for a long time. I'm listening to it right now, and so far it's been good, but I don't know why. I just never picked it up. So I got that. The next one was Dread Nation by Justina Ireland. This is another one that's been on my wish list forever. It's like a alternate history retelling of the American Revolution, I think. I think it's set in that time frame. Don't get mad at me if I'm wrong, because I just can't quite remember. But I've been wanting to read for a while because I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I like alternate histories a lot. So, yeah. I think there's like zombies in that one and stuff. And then another young adult one I've been wanting to read that I got for audiobook is The Black Witch by Laurie Forrest. And I think this is about like I think it's young adult, like paranormal type of thing about a young girl who finds out she's a witch. I know I put it on my wish list a long time ago, and every time I go through and review my wish list and I read like reviews and stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, I think I'd really like that. So I keep it on there. And then for the last two that I have to go through, these are both Audible originals. So again, if you're an Audible member and you have like a membership plan through there, you get to pick 2 free Audible originals audiobooks each month. So the 2 I picked this month were House of Teeth by Dan Jolly, and this is supposed to be a middle grade book about some kids who are in a creepy house. That's all I know about it. It's been getting very good reviews. It's about an 8-hour audiobook, so I went ahead and picked that up. And then the other one, I really didn't know what to do for the second one, but I will say I've listened to some really interesting stuff that I wouldn't normally listen to. So this one looked most interesting to me, and this is Buried Deep by Margot Hunt. And this is a shorter audiobook. It's like 2.5 hours. And it's about a married couple who goes to Florida and ends up involved in this murder mystery somehow. And that's pretty much all I know about. I think it's like a thriller thing. So that is what I got. I don't even know how many that was. I can count really quick. But yeah, I'm dropping stuff. Hold on. So that was one. We'll just do 1, 2, 3. We got 5 audiobooks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Kindle books. So that's 12. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books for review. So 20 books in the last 2 weeks. I have read quite a few of them already, like the shorter Kindle books and stuff. Yeah. So that's what I got. It was a lot. We did pretty good in our hockey tournament. We got 4th out of 8 teams, which isn't too bad. It was really cold at Silver Bay. When we got up on Sunday morning, it was minus 20, which is cold. I don't care. Like people, when I was down in Missouri for work, they're like, oh yeah, you're used to that. You live in Minnesota. And I'm like, I don't care who you are. 20 is cold. And it's just, minus 20 is cold. It's just cold. Like things don't act the same outside when it's cold, and like the air hurts your lungs and like your eyelashes freeze and weird stuff happens. And the arena that my son was playing at was not heated. Like they had a little heated area up top where you walked in, but then the ice arena itself was not heated. So we were all very, very cold. And we didn't know that when we went up there. So the next day we all brought lots warmer stuff. Other than that, we're looking at Christmas coming up pretty soon here. So I hope everybody's all ready. I hope you're not stressing too much. We've been trying very, very hard this year to like simplify things a little bit and really focus on the fact we're spending time with family, not presents and all that other stuff. And we are doing Christmas with my husband's family this weekend. And then we'll be going to my extended family, all my aunts and uncles, Christmas Eve, and then over to my parents' house on Christmas Day. So lots of running around. And then Christmas night, we are going to go ahead and take off to San Francisco. And we're going to be there for a week and come back on New Year's Eve night. So we're very excited about that. It is a little bit hectic. I wasn't expecting to have to travel again for work for a week and then go to a hockey tournament and then be back for a week and then leave and go to San Francisco. So it has been a little bit hectic, but we'll get through it. And I really hope, I probably won't talk to you guys again before Christmas. So I hope you're ready for the holidays and you'll get to spend time with your friends and family and that you have a great time. And of course, I hope you get some time to read and you get some great books for Christmas. So, yeah, I hope you got a lot of great books this last week, and I hope that you have a great time reading them. And I will talk to you later. Bye.